Hi friends, I'm Penny Hunt, and this is Penny Heart to Heart, day 43. 43 days I've been coming to you since I've been in my home, like many of us. 43 videos I've come to you chatting and just giving you tips and thoughts about what's going on in the world and what's going on with us as we are home during this time, and just chatting about a lot of things. Day 43. Before I tell you my topic today, I just want to remind you I'm giving away books. If you would like one of my books, all you have to do in the comment line is write, "I'd love your book," and you'll be in this week's drawing. I mail them out as soon as I can. I'll let you know tomorrow who the winner is for this last week's book drawing. And then I get them to the post office as soon as I can. Excuse me. Today, I want to talk to you about something I thought of this morning because I think maybe it's happening to me a little bit and probably happening to all of us a little bit at some level. And I think it happens a lot. It's kind of human nature. I wonder if we, our world and our country and our community, are getting a little bit desensitized about the situation. You know, when you have a natural disaster like a hurricane or an earthquake, and unless you're right there, it's in your community, we watch the news, we watch it for days, we might give donations, and we think about all those poor people that are struggling. And then suddenly it comes to a point where it kind of becomes not top of mind anymore. It's maybe there's another news story that comes and takes the top seat, and that one is kind of shuffled down below, and we can forget about it. We can become desensitized to the trauma that the people are going through, to the disaster that has happened. And I think it happens it's not just natural disasters like weather, but think about some of the other disasters that have happened, that we are glued to the television when they happen, and then slowly we kind of get back to our own world and we become desensitized. And then if there is 5 tornadoes in a row, we become desensitized to the trauma of even having a tornado in your community, or a flood, or whatever it is that happens, that we see happen over and over again, kind of on cycles in our world. And so I think this coronavirus is becoming a little bit like that. In the beginning, we kind of heard about something was happening in China, and we didn't pay too much attention to it. And then all of a sudden, we realized it was coming our way, and we started paying attention to it, and we watched the news nonstop. We listen to every report. For me, our governor comes on every afternoon and gives an update about what's going on in our state. And our leaders in our health department, we were glued to everything. They had our full attention. And every night we would look at the numbers, like how many new cases in the United States, how many new cases in other countries, how many new cases in your state. And for us, compared to a lot of states, we don't have those high numbers. But I remember when the first case came to my state of Wyoming, and then when the first person passed away. And so those numbers became very important. Every day it was like we waited to hear what the number was going to be today, and how much more, and the horrific number that started adding up for our country and for the world, of how many people had it, how many people were passing away from it, how many people were on respirators in the hospital. I mean, those numbers were something that we just paid attention to all the time. I waited for 3 o'clock. That's when our numbers came out here. And now I think it's that beginning rush of adrenaline, like, oh my gosh, this is really happening, and how are we going to handle this, and what are we going to do, and how is it going to affect me? And then that adrenaline starts to wane, and the emotion attached to everything that's happened kind of stabilizes. Like, it's not, we hear the numbers, but it's not the emotional hit that it was in the beginning. And we maybe become a little bit desensitized to hearing about it. After you hear about something over and over and over again, it almost becomes our norm. It's what's happening in life, and we become desensitized. It doesn't strike fear in us. It doesn't strike our heart as much as it did in the beginning. And I think this desensitization is a dangerous place to be. I think we can become calm, we can become aware, we can become adjusted and used to being at home. This is day 43 for me. We get kind of used to it. But I think if we get too complacent and too desensitized to what's really going on out there, that's a dangerous place to be, because I think when that starts to happen, people will start taking risks. And they will start going out without wearing their masks. They will start thinking it's silly to just stay at home. I'm going to go do what I want. And I think if we come to that place where we're so desensitized and almost a place that we don't care anymore, that can become very dangerous. And I think part of the reason, it's not just that the adrenaline comes down and that our emotions stabilize, it's we just get tired. We're tired of it. I've had days where I'm incredibly tired. And physically, I feel it physically tired. And I think that is the kind of place where we find ourselves tippy-toeing into that danger zone of being desensitized, because every number matters. Every person who gets the coronavirus matters. Every person who passes from it matters. And they have a family and they have loved ones. And just because it's not directly connected to us, we are connected to it, and it all matters. And so I think maybe we don't need to stay at this high level of fear and emotion that when the numbers started coming out, we saw the charts going up and up and up. Maybe we don't have to stay there, but I think it's dangerous if we get so desensitized that we just don't care anymore, and it doesn't seem to matter to us, and we start to take risks. So I just want to give you that little snippet to think about. Where are you on that scale from the very beginning when we were hearing about it to where we got very emotional because we knew it was coming our way, it was going to affect us, and then now where it's been here so long that we're just kind of getting used to it, and that maybe is a scary thing. So think about where you are, and where your family is and where your spouse is, and are you kind of matched in that level in that roller coaster ride? Something to think about. I want to remind you, if you'd like to be in the drawing for my book, just write in the comment line, "I'd love your book," and you'll be in this week's drawing. I will notify tomorrow the winners for last week, and we'll get those in the mail as soon as we can. Tomorrow will be day 44. I thank you for popping in. I know it's hard to remember. 3 o'clock Mountain Time is when I'm here. And I'm always thrilled when people join me and give me comments about how they feel about the topic of the day. I'm Penny Hunt. This has been Penny Heart to Heart. Thanks for watching.